Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day Beyonce.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality, yes, let's
love.
Let's
Whoa.
talk about sex, baby.
Brr, brr.
Let's talk about you and me.
Brr.
Let's talk about all the good things.
Let's talk about sex.
Let's talk about butter.
Why is it called sex? Let's talk about sex.
Like a lot of things.
Is it Jovi?
Jovi and Yara and Michael masturbating.
Oh. Boy.
Oh.
Y'all, we're just going to say this now because you probably want us to talk about this, but I'm telling you now, we're not going to talk about Mike and Natalie until next episode because we kind of
I need processing time.
what the fuck just happened.
This was I don't think we've seen anything in 2 seasons like this. Maybe 2 or 3 seasons. This kind of freak out.
It was like someone pulled back the curtain in Wizard of Oz, and it was.
And it was during the in the moment thing that they were filming.
I would love to talk to a PA that was just sitting on that set.
I feel like there's so much we don't know.
Yes. Yeah, welcome to Reality Gaze.
Welcome to Reality
by the way.
Gaze.
If you're watching the intimate portrait. I'm drinking a white wine called Butter Chardonnay to celebrate. Mm-hmm.
I'm not drinking. I'm just sitting here in my house in Los Angeles.
Well, it's 5:00 where you are. It's evening tide for me.
Eventide.
That's what I said, Gary. Gary, roll that. Roll that. So anyway, y'all.
No, eventide means it's getting to be.
No one cares.
I'm just trying to correct you when you're incorrect.
No one cares. Y'all.
Like Christmas tide means it's getting to be something.
Sure.
I'm just trying to get things right.
We need to do that this year. Well, maybe no, we can't. But we used to have a party called the Merry Making It Christmas Tide, and we would invite people over to sing Christmas carols. Poodle made ham.
I would.
It was it was fun.
People would sing, and then people would request songs like about Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, and I would say, no, we're not doing it.
He would. We should do that in your apartment this year because it's big. You can entertain people.
I could do that.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that this year. So anyway, y'all.
We'll have to choose a date.
Dates.
And everyone has to sing. Because if you're not gonna, we don't want you if you're not gonna sing. That's a requirement. You can't just sit there and look at your song sheets.
Okay.
And yes, there are song sheets.
All right, we should move on. This is getting dicey. Okay, everybody. So if you are watching,
evaluations.
If you are watching on the Patreon, we appreciate you support. Now, look, we're going to talk about some quick announcements. My first announcement is Poodle doesn't know this.
Oh, great! I love the announcements I don't know.
I want to apologize because I mentioned on our Darcy and Stacey podcast we should do it as an intimate portrait and do a video of it. And Poodle read me for filth and said, we don't have the time to do that.
Or the bandwidth.
And he is right, because right now we've got so much coming down the pike. So we'll do something as far as video for Darcy and Stacey because we know that y'all want it. I'm going to be back in LA soon in a couple of weeks for a while. So just hang tight.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I said it.
And you may see a little. We're trying to talk about how we're going to do that. It'll probably be on our Instagrams.
Yeah,
So our 90 days. Reality day.
You said Instagrams like an old person.
I say it's probably on our Instagram.
On our Instagram.
I really like Instagrams for breakfast.
I'm popular on the Instagram, Scott.
But we will look for it there because right now it's just too much work.
But it's true. Let's talk about Fuckboy Island, Poodle.
Let's talk about or F-Boy Island to be more, y'all. That's going to be on this feed on our free feed. You're going to get that on the regular feed. It is an HBO Max show with 3 eligible women searching for the love of their life, and they're up against 12 nice guys and 12 fuckboys.
It's true.
And the F-boys get money, and the nice guys get the girls. So you can see, but Nikki Glazer's hosting it. It's going to be somewhere between spectacular and cringe. And I'm here for both those things.
Yes. I'm full disclosure. They are advertising on our podcast.
Yes.
But we chose to do this show because actually
we chose before.
We chose before. And then they said, we were just like, we have to do this show. So, but
and when they said, we want you guys to do ads, we're like, yeah.
Yeah, we're already doing this show. Yes. Thank you.
Excuse me. So yeah, we're going to
have a show where there's guys that are like some guy named like Ronaldo and some other guy named like Oscar, and they're just like sitting there and they're like,
I fucked an Oscar once,
and they're like, hey, are you interested in Carrie or are you interested in Pamela? And Ronaldo kind of like lets his leg accidentally drape on Oscar's by the pool, and he said, well, I'm interested in other people. And they kind of look longingly at each other. And the sun kind of glares in the camera. That's not going to happen on this show.
Oh,
why?
Because unless they're... However, there was from... I want to say it's from World of Wonder. There was a casting call that my friend put out. That was like, we're looking for queer singles looking for love.
Yeah. People sent it to you to be in.
I don't know if I'm ready for that right now.
Sadly, here's probably what Poodle and I've encountered, and maybe I feel down about it, but y'all, we don't get called in for things because we're not the gays.
We're not what they want.
Or we're not the gays that are like drag queens, which are all awesome parts of the gay spectrum.
Or we're not something like we're not 400 pounds to find, like we're in the middle of all that.
If they put us on a show, they'd put us for the first like 2 episodes, so we would say things funny about people, and then we get kicked off again. Yeah,
that's how that would work.
Anyway, what other we got?
We're great with straight people. When you put us in there, we're good color. Mm-hmm. But if you put us with a bunch of other gay men, y'all, it's just
they don't think we're funny at all.
They don't.
And the other gay men that love our show, Sissy Bill, other people like that, you're like us.
Yeah, you're like exactly.
You're like us. You're our people.
We do have a lot of gay male fans, and we love all of you. But if you, a lot of them have probably talked to their friends. They're like, yeah, I like. When they listen to reality gays, they're like, not funny.
We should do like 1 year. We should do like a retreat, like just for the gay men the gay men and the lesbians, and we all go to like Fire Island or Provincetown like 1 year when it's safe. That'd be fun.
Well, yeah, but no, that's preferential treatment. We love everyone the same. Yeah.
We do love everyone the same, but I guess it is here. Wow, that sounded bad. I was just trying to get you laid.
I wouldn't. I don't know if I would fuck our fans.
You would 100% fuck our fans, and it's my deepest fear. Anyway, y'all, we want to announce one other thing.
You waylaid the announcements.
Hey, we were on the 90-day Melanated Way, by the way, y'all.
Her 1 year anniversary.
Her 1 year anniversary. We were with Devin. We saw her new face. We were with we were also
River Chantel's brother.
Which is, we're talking about that in season 4 right now of our classic. And then also we saw a little bit, but then we had to leave. We saw Armando.
Armando was there.
So anyway, y'all, we plan on doing another collab with Linda. We just have been busy, but the Melanated Way, happy year anniversary. We love you. I'm done.
We also, this month, we're also raising money in our Sissy Squad for the Fisher House Foundation. So if you're in the Sissy Squad, if you're not, join the Sissy Squad. If you're a fan of ours, we have fun in there. Every month we raise money for a charity. And this is our charity for this month with the Fisher House Foundation, which helps families of military service personnel be close to when their family members are having procedures or medical issues. That helps house them. So it is because when someone serves, your family serves as well. So
this is very near and dear to our hearts. Really,
it's important for us.
My boyfriend's family's in the military, and just dealing with my dad, I can't tell you the amount of, and we're lucky that my father worked hard, but the amount of money we have spent just to stay lodging in Houston and flying back, it's just astronomical, and so many people need. So even if everybody in our Sissy Squad gave $1, there's almost 9,000 people in there. $1 could go so far. So really in there if you appreciate. But we love the squad. It's like somebody said this week, because we talked about making bees in one of our podcasts. We talked about when you remember your first bee.
Oh, yeah.
And someone said they remember that they didn't get good, and they didn't get into Who's Who. And one of the sissies responded and said, "Fuck Who's Who. You're in the Sissy Squad. That's a more elite group anyway." Ooh. And I said, "It is."
I remember Who's Who. I got into Who's Who.
Because you paid for it. That's how you get into Who's Who.
I think you're right.
If you didn't get into Who's Who, get in the Sissy Squad.
I think you do pay for it. Anyway. I cannot even remember. Who's Who? What the fuck? Who's Who now? Who the fuck are any of you people?
Does Who's Who have meetups?
No. Can you post dick memes? Not actual dicks. We don't do that in there.
We don't do that in there because we get banned.
No.
Zuckerberg, he might be going to space, but he'll see dick pics and kick us out.
Bezos goes to space.
No, but isn't Zuckerberg going next?
Really?
I think he's going to. I don't know. They're all going to space.
I can't follow with all the.
God, it's a lot.
No. So a couple other things, you guys, for our Patreon, at any level right now, we have a poll going on, an exciting poll. You make the call, like that, like a sports emoji. You make the call. Remember that when they would show that in between commercials, like when you would be the ref, you make the call. God, what were you doing when people were watching sports in your house?
Practicing color guard behind.
There we go. There we go. That makes sense.
The Indiana Jones thing. That was my big color. With our broomstick.
This is why the announcements are so long. I'm just trying to ram it through, and someone else is distracting. So remember that the next time you complain about announcements, biatch. Drink your Kim Crawford shitty butter wine.
Drink my butter.
So for our, we have 3 choices for our Bi-Curious episode. So you're choosing the Bi-Curious this month. Basically, it's down to 2 right now. We've kind of kicked Too Hot to Handle Brazil out of there because it is a neck and neck nail biter between My Unorthodox Life on Netflix and So Freaking Cheap on TLC. These bitches are going at one another.
Oh, y'all!
If you feel strongly about either of those, go to your Patreon and you will see me. There's a poll.
Can you vote again? Because if you voted for Too Hot to Handle, you should go back. Oh, never mind.
Nope. Sorry.
Maybe we'll do a special runoff.
I'd prefer you say these to me things off the air.
I wonder if somebody said the election's rigged. It's rigged. It's rigged.
Most rigged poll in history.
The rigged. George is rigged.
That is the worst Trump I've ever seen.
It's not good.
It's kind of like gay Trump.
Well, hey.
So the next thing, you guys, just to run down our Patreon, we're giving you a lot of content right now. 3 shows that are coming at you new on the $5 level are Love is Blind. Sorry, not Love is Blind. I'm sorry. Love in Paradise, the Caribbean, a 90-day spinoff. Also, Sexy Beasts on Netflix. And Love is Blind, After the Altar.
After the Altar.
Yes. So, and we have no idea when new season of Love is Blind. It's probably not far though.
I feel like August. Sissies. If
I don't know why they wouldn't announce it though.
Can't we have? Doesn't somebody that listens to our show work at Netflix? I can't talk. Has worked at Netflix. Netflix and can just fucking throw us a bone. We won't tell. We'll keep it secret.
I just need to know for my schedule.
We just need to know for Poodle likes to make a very accurate schedule, y'all. It is
and if
rigorous.
We don't follow it.
It's usually when most of our fights happen off air. Is I didn't follow the schedule.
That's usually what happens. Or you ask me something that's been on the schedule for like months.
Or if I say something about the schedule and I'm right, I don't hear for Poodle from 2 days. And then later he just contacts me and doesn't to bring it up.
That's almost never. But anyway. Most of things could be resolved if you just look at the schedule before talking to me. Anyway, what was I saying? So, yo, let's talk about the show.
Let's talk about these goofballs. Talk about these goofballs.
We're going to jump right into it with Michael. I wrote down, it's nice to see Michael smiling. I forget. He has such a nice smile. And Angela rarely makes him smile.
Yeah, I thought I actually enjoyed this segment because Angela wasn't really in it that much.
Later on, she is. So he's playing ping pong with the goofballs.
He is.
I like it that he even himself calls them the goofballs.
He's like, I don't tell Angela.
I'm hanging out with the goofballs.
The goofballs.
And he is talking. They're playing ping pong.
He tells them. He says, "We reconcile.
We reconcile." And they're
She's
like,
"My wife," and that's that.
They're like, "Ooh, we said really shitty things about her." Y'all, we've all been that person who. That's why you need to be really careful when someone breaks up with someone, and you need to be choose your words. Oh, well, maybe things aren't. You don't know it. I'm so glad you broke up with it. She was an idiot from beginning, or he was a complete asshole. You know, I saw him cheat on you. You may, and then because the next day they're going to be back together. And you're going to have to justify what you said. Remember that. The first breakup doesn't take. It takes, like on Seinfeld said, you got to push that Coke machine a couple of times before it goes over.
That's true. I'm not that way, but most people are that way.
Yeah. The people I've broken up with, it's not that we reunite. It takes a little bit of
You like to
grease.
Fuck your exes a lot. I have no
Thanks for
desire.
calling me out on that.
You really like to fuck your exes.
I've done it a couple of times.
Yeah, you've done it every time.
Maybe. There's a reason why I was with them.
So he told Angela, I'm not going to hang out with him anymore. But he says, I do hang out with him from time to time. And I love that, y'all, Michael makes phone sex sound so wonderful. He said, we had a romantic chat and it went well.
Romantic chat and it went quite well. That was when she had fucking baby's breath in her hair and said, pop your penis.
Pop. And
go ahead now, pop your penis.
And it popped. I mean, you could tell it was popping. And so then the men start saying, well, what about her breast? And they say, well, what were her breasts like? And then
are they more like watermelons? Then we go through this litany of fruits that her breasts are like, and I was uncomfortable.
It was a little.
Are they watermelons? Oranges? Perhaps apples? Tangelos?
Yeah, it was a little bit like
mangoes.
What are those? I'm trying to think of what those one candies are called.
Fruit
runts.
Fruit runts.
It's like they were thinking of every fruit and fruit runts that Angela's tips were like. Bananas.
Large kumquats.
Cantaloupes. So anyway, it felt a little not appropriate, but they were. And so Michael says, the great answer, they're reduced, but I love it. Y'all, and then we get some insight that I don't think we expected to get from this episode.
Freud would have a field day here.
Oh, boy.
Michael said, I've always been a boob man. I guess it was when I breastfed until I was 9. And everyone went, you can just hear the PAs going,
What?
Even
Rachel, did he say 9 years? Yeah, Tommy.
Even a grip holding the boom who'd heard everything went, fuck.
Yeah, he's like, fuck.
When are we eating?
and so now look, we can make fun of that. And at first I was like, well, maybe it's a cultural thing. But then he says,
everyone talked about it.
He said, this is not common in my culture.
Right.
And I think that's why I'm a boobs man. And
that's a fair assumption.
I'm going to tell you something right now. That to this day is why my Aunt Peggy says that my Uncle A.W., who was the oldest, Andrew Jr., was the most spoiled, because she said, I remember when Darla was born. That's the youngest, Aunt Darla. She said, I remember when Darla was born, and I came home from school one day, and I looked, and Mama was behind the door, and A.W. came out from behind the door, and Grandma was putting her tit in her bra, and he was 6 years old, still getting the tit from my mama. And she said, and that's what's wrong with him today. He expects us all to wipe his ass because he didn't get off the tit. And you know what? She's right. He was the most spoiled, narcissistic. So I can't believe Michael turned out to be somewhat of a well-rounded person. I mean, I shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but, you know.
Your Uncle A.W.
Uncle A.W., he was the one that ran for governor. I remember us having the signs in our street, or we wouldn't put them up, but the neighbors had Mar for governor, but he couldn't get in the country because he had a warrant out for his arrest for holding a firearm.
If you could, y'all, if you're watching Intimate Portrait, me just going, kind of like when you see a dog in people clothes and it's cute for a minute, and then the longer you stare at it, you're like, something's wrong. This is wrong.
Y'all, I wish I made these up, but as Poodle can attest, I don't.
No, it's all real. It's frightfully real.
So now Michael's like, well, hey, how do I get Angela to carry my baby? Because we're still talking about this fucking unrealistic expectation.
I completely forgot about this.
You know what? We all did, because we thought it was forgotten, but we didn't, because, and I talk about this later when she talks to him, but to be honest, y'all, Angela, if you look back, if you watch back of old 90 Day, because I remember saying that, I specifically remember when they were on that boat, when she was on Nigeria, and they were kind of having their real conversation about kids. She never said, I don't want kids and I'm never going to have a baby. Mm-hmm. Which is that is what Angela feels.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We know that is what Angela is going to do.
No intention.
She has, at least on camera, we have never seen her tell Michael the truth. She's led him on the entire time.
Agreed.
So she can get her exotic Nigerian husband.
I think at one point when he was kind of on the line, when their relationship was on the line, I think she considered having an egg from Skyla.
But she knew Skyla would say no. She knew she would.
But they did go to check out her egg. So I think she kind of promised that. But I think in the inner realism, and what I always say, in the darkest part of night, when you open your eyes, she knew she was never going to have a baby with Michael. She knew
never, ever going to have a baby. And she's never fucking told him that, because she's so insecure. She knows he'll break up with her, and he would not. I'm telling you, if she would have said, Michael, I'm never having a baby, he would not have married her.
I agree with that.
And that's what she knows. And it's shitty. And so now the goofballs are like, Poodle, did you know you can just go to FedEx.com and ship your sperm, apparently?
I noticed that.
Is this sissies who work in fertility? Is this real?
Do you have a fiancé across the sea? And if you want to get her pregnant, all you have to do is jizz in a cup, put an ice pack in there, and send it off.
Are you a long shooter, but the farthest you've ever hit is your eye on a good night? Then welcome
FedEx has you covered.
FedEx Sperm Care is what you need. You spurt it, we ship it, and hopefully you get knocked up.
FedEx Spooge. They just and the symbol is just like instead of an eagle on it, it's a sperm going.
Yeah, it's a sperm in purple and orange. All rights reserved.
We deliver for you in your cooch.
All rights reserved. FedEx cannot deliver to Cambodia because, well, we can't find our drivers there.
Anyway, y'all, it was very strange. I don't know if I'm sure it's possible, but I think you have to probably DHL. I think it's probably a very special shipping. I mean, when it comes to it.
I don't know, y'all. I once sent a friend a candle to France. That was 4 years ago, and he's still never gotten it. So good luck.
Do you notice that even today, to sit cross-country mail, like my parents will send me something, and the mail is so slow, I won't get it for over 2 weeks. It is absurd.
My friend, he's from Alabama originally and lived in LA for a bit. And he said, yeah, stuff just doesn't really get here in France. The postal service, they're just kind of, the way he described it, I'm mad at postal service people in berets and cigarettes, just kind of like, we'll get it when we can.
It gets there when it gets there.
It gets there.
Yes.
Amira, let us know. Do you get mail in France?
I think maybe that's why my Parisian pen pal that I had in fourth grade, we wrote back to them. Maybe that's why she never got back to my last letter. I wrote her 2, and her name was Manu, and she never got back to me.
Yeah, that was it, Poodle. Yeah, that was it.
Not that I went on about how I really loved novels starring Victorian characters the best.
Or how you wrote poems in French about flowers.
Yeah. She mostly talked about playing soccer.
Exactly.
Don't think it was a match now that I'm looking back.
I don't think it was a match.
Manu, we could have been friends.
We could have been. Did you hear that apparently Andrew's dick pic has surfaced, by the way?
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh,
I get all these sent to me.
I'm happy to not get them. Unless it's Andrei's or Pedro's, I want it.
I get all of them. All the ones that surface, I guess I'm just like...
You never tell me you get them.
I'm like a dick pig repository.
Are you just watching them and beating off to them?
No, most of the time they just scar my eyes.
I heard Andrew's was a pretty dick.
Sadly, it's not a good angle, but it's all ball. We're talking most of the real estate is balls.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Huge balls.
Okay. Some people are into that.
I will say from the angle it looked like it was medium size at least.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't turn it down. And you know me, I'm
wow,
quite persnickety about
you're a dick picky. He's perdickety.
I'm perdickety.
We just made a new word. If you're persnickety about your dick, you're perdickety.
You're perdickety.
Anyway,
I got any perdicketies.
So Michael says, well, so they say, well, you could just put your sperm and just send it. And then, y'all, we learn another moment about Michael. And Michael leans in and says, I don't masturbate.
And the goofballs went,
they
say what?
They literally all made a face like, no, really.
No, really. Man.
And he says, I have never masturbated.
He said, you know that. And so they probably think he's lying.
And he even tells the producers, literally, I've never masturbated because it's a sin.
And that grip.
Against my religion.
Eating a sandwich with it, who's holding the boom, just eating a hero and goes, fuck, you're a liar.
Fuck.
And goes
Do you think Michael has never masturbated?
I think when he was a child and just playing with it like one often plays with a doodle bug. You're just seeing what's going to happen.
Wow.
Doodle bug, your house is on fire. Doodle bug, your house is on fire.
What song is this?
Doodle bug, your house is on fire. You play with doodle bugs. You know doodle bugs.
No.
They have these little tiny like spherical little
what
things.
The fuck is a doodle bug?
They're strange shaped things. They kind of look like they have like little pinchers, and they get ants, and they have these little like almost little cave-ins that the ants fall in, and you'd stick a little twig, and the doodlebugs would go, and you pull them up, and you're like, oh, I got a doodlebug, and then once you got him, it's like, this is gross, and you just throw them away, and the doodlebug's dead. But you would say doodlebugs,
and they're deadly bite.
Oh, so I never had any. It was never deadly. Maybe for small creatures. Wow. But we need to get back to the story. So you never seen a doodlebug?
No. Mm-mm.
Anyway, y'all come at me if you play with doodlebugs. I think that's very Southern.
Yeah. I think that's when you grow up in the mountains and you're barefoot.
That's true. Kind of like playing in our trailer homes or trailer houses.
Which
we found people in Texas and Oklahoma and someone in Northern California who said trailer house.
Yeah.
So it is definitely a regionalism.
Yeah, it is a regionalism.
And everyone else said trailer. So I like all those kind of things.
No, I do too.
So anyway, he's never masturbated. I don't believe it.
I kind of believe him. I do.
But even as a child, you would, because the first time you masturbated, you heard about people doing it, and then when something happened, it's kind of like, what?
Poodle. We just found out Michael was sucking his mom's tit till he was 9 years old.
You're right.
So I can believe weird things with Michael.
It's true.
So
it kind of does make sense that makes older women and fixation on mother figures makes a lot more sense.
He 100%, just like if Angela, I guarantee you, if Angela had a baby, he would want to suck her breast milk.
Totally.
Sissies, come at us. Have you ever had your husband suck your breast milk? I don't think so. I'm sure that's a fetish. I'm not judging it. Doesn't hurt anybody. If you've got milk to spare, why not?
But wouldn't you want to give it to the baby?
Well, I know, but if you've got enough, maybe you're making enough for the baby and your husband. I don't know.
I think that I don't know if straight men would want to do that.
I'm scared to do a Google search on this, but I bet it's a thing.
I guess.
I'm sure it's
a lot of fathers are like, that's really gross.
Yeah, a lot of fathers don't. They get turned
right. I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying I can't imagine there's that many men who want to do that.
I don't know.
We need
So let's talk about something equally disturbing. Y'all, Angela is the wet t-shirt contest queen.
In her 40s. Here comes Big A.
The
goofballs do make a good point, and he said, "Oh, you're right. She spent money to get slimmer, but she can't spend money to get a child." And he went, "I do need to say something. That is totally fair." And he did say, "I would never be 100% happy if I did not have a child of my own."
And Angela knows that.
She knows it.
That's why she lied.
And it's cruel, and it's really cruel.
It's really cool.
So he calls her, and they're talking, and immediately starts talking about the fertility doctor, wants to go there. And she's like, yeah, it's been a day. Tekashi shit everywhere. And y'all, I assume this dog is named after Tekashi 6ix9ine, which is absolutely ridiculous. You have no idea who that is.
What's Tekashi 6ix9ine?
He is a singer, rapper, performer that got in trouble in one of the Scandinavian countries, and Trump was trying to get him out.
Really?
Yeah. How do you not know this? It was a huge thing in the news. But yet every country song from 1988 through 1996.
Oh, this person has issues.
Yeah. Because I don't know if it was they named him Tekashi after Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Wow.
I'm glad that you found out who Tekashi 6ix9ine was.
He's lived a life.
I don't know that much about him.
Is he gay? Because he's really into rainbow stuff.
I don't think so.
Speaking of gay rappers, what were you going to say?
I said, I feel like the Kardashians were trying to pressure Trump to do it.
That new Lil Nas X video is amazing.
I've only seen part of it, just the clips. Is the whole thing out?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I've seen more and more clips. Y'all just go watch it. That's all I'm saying.
It is amazing. I will say I'm not a huge fan of his singing voice because I find it completely, but it's like his style and his like what he's saying, it doesn't matter.
And what he's rapping about.
And I feel like it's like the most like precise trolling I've ever seen.
That's the best loving it. He really is trolling a lot of this culture of this kind of homophobic culture,
hypermasculinity,
and also he's really coming at people in the Black community about homophobia and Black community. I mean, it's just
I would love to hear like especially like mainstream like rap, like journalism, people who write about rap and write about R&B.
I don't know.
I want to read that.
I don't know who Drake is. We need to move on.
But you do like Lil Nas X. You do know that because he's got naked men in the videos.
No, not because naked men. Because all my gay friends are like, "This is amazing." I'm like, "Who's this?" Well, and also in his defense, his first hit song was a country song,
"Old Town Road,"
with Billy Ray Cyrus. And y'all, Billy Ray Cyrus was part of my sexual awakening. And
was he? Really?
Come on.
Not for me.
You did. Well, you were older.
We're basically the same age. Come on. But we're the same generation.
Achy Breaky Heart? Oh.
No, I wasn't as into country music as you were.
Oh, his ass. And when Dolly Parton did that Romeo song and he was singing with her.
I don't remember.
Won't you be my Juliet?
I did not spend every CMT Music Awards making my own personal pride parade.
I watched a lot of CMT rubbing Grandma Hazel's feet.
God. Those two things sound really awful to me. And when you put them together, it sounds miserable.
We need to move on.
We definitely need to move on.
So she's telling him she's saying that she's healing, that her boobs are looking better. And he's like, that's great. And he says, Angela, let's talk about having a baby together.
She's like,
are you out of your mind?
Are you out your mind?
Out your mind. And he says, I think we should talk about it now.
And he says, I've been talking to the goofballs. And she's like, of course you have. I knew something was wrong. She's like, Skylar's not going to give us an egg. That
is a little bit on Michael because Skylar has been very clear from the get-go.
She has been. Yeah.
They ain't getting her egg, y'all.
And then she says, this is the most brutal thing she can say. I didn't do all this to have a baby and do this to my body.
Not getting my body back together to just let it go again. I'm enjoying this body I'm getting because it's all about her. And she's never answered his baby question to begin with.
Then did you hear her kind of start bullying him and making fun of him for masturbating? He's like, you're going to have to masturbate, Michael.
You're going to have to masturbate. What do you think about that, Michael?
But you know what? You're going to do it with me on the phone. You're going to do it with me on the phone.
And you know what I realized? We talk about her nationalism and how that kind of plays into how she's so much better because she's an American. But I realized Angela thinks and she might be actually, but she thinks that she is smarter than Michael, and I think she thinks Michael is stupid.
Yeah, I think she does.
I think she thinks he's not intelligent, therefore she can boss everything around. And just in the way she was talking to him, like he was just an idiot. And I thought, wow, she really feels like what is he there for? Is he there just to fuck you and be like a sexual object for you?
I think for her, it is having a child/husband. She does need someone and that's what he's in a way looking for. He's looking for a mother figure.
Oof.
And that kind of combination. And in a way, Michael has, I'm not saying he's asked for it, but what he puts up with for her, what you accept is what other people will give you guys. What you accept, and he has accepted it. And that's what people learn to give you, what you accept.
That's true.
And that is kind of what's happened. And
what did I listen to? Oh, if you want more information about that, there's a really good So Dak Shepard's wife, Kristen Bell, she does a podcast with Monica from Armchair Expert called Shattered Glass. And it's all about interviewing women about kind of how they shatter glass. But they just recently interviewed Oprah. And Oprah talked about that a lot, how it's a great interview. But she talked about so much how what I was giving people is what they were giving back to me. She talks about the saying no for her and how hard that was for her.
I've just heard that all my life of what people, what you accept. If you accept something, that's what people start to know to give to you.
But I bring that up because I know that seems rote to you, just normal for you. But I think for a lot of people, that is novel information. It was for me. My parents did not grow up teaching me that. And I think a lot of people grow up that you give to others, you help people out,
right?
You say yes.
Well,
and so I think that's good for you.
I don't think I was taught that by my parents. I just kind of learned. I read it somewhere.
Really, I feel like Mother Poodle would say that.
I think which kind of. And my one of my father's sayings was, "No one can ever intimidate you without your consent. No one can ever make you feel bad about yourself without you consenting to it," which is hard for a kid to hear, but he's right.
Yeah,
in a level, they had a lot of sayings like that, but it was my I remember maybe one of them did say that about what you unless you're going to say no and let's say I don't accept this, people will continue to give you that
because they're
not going to change. People don't change.
Yeah.
Unless affected by another force.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's why I love we're talking about our Sissy Squad. We have so many people in our Facebook group wanting to they just had enough and they're like, I need to make changes. I need to do this. And I love our sissies for that.
It's a very supportive
and all of our
group.
Listeners who we get DMs and messages for. You guys are talking about changes you're making in your lives.
You just can't share people's OnlyFans. You can't ask for legal or medical advice.
Because the group is liable for all that.
Because we don't want to get sued.
Like Discovery tried to.
Anyway. Angela finally says, Michael, I'm going to humor you.
Yeah.
And that's literally what she said.
I'm going to
humor you and let you get the consultation and then we'll take it from there. She never will say, I'm not fucking having this child. Nope. Which we all know.
Agree. That's all I've got. We should move on to Libby and Andrei, but before we do that...
Before we talk about cake, which is one of Poodle's favorite things to talk about...
Y'all, I can't handle the wasting of cake.
Save it. We're going to talk about Poodle and we're going to let Poodle get on a cake soapbox when we get back from this break. So
we're now at Act 37 of King Lear. Surprisingly, King Lear isn't dead yet.
No.
Although the three daughters and strange son have tried to suck him dry of everything.
Lib and I drove back on RV by self.
And what's this act called? Glad Hands at OnlyFans. So, everyone wants their pound of flesh from Chuck. Their kind of, if you ever read Lord of the Flies, they want their part of the pig. They need to stick that pig, that big fat pig, and they want the blood.
It's
I can't believe I say this. I feel a little sorry for Chuck. I feel a little sympathy for him.
This episode made me feel sorry for a little bit for Chuck, and it did make me feel sorry for the sisters. But I don't think...
Oh, they're trash. Are you kidding?
I realized, you know what they're upset about? It's not that Andrei is screwing them over. It's that he's not playing the game that the rest of them play. And it just
he refuses to play by their rules.
Because I thought, and Andrei, y'all, Poodle and I come from families. My aunts, my dad, like they all have rental properties. Poodle families comes from real estate. And I agree with what the girls what the sisters are saying later on. So I don't know. We might have a different take on that based on our family experience.
I think we have a difference of opinion, and I'm going to talk about why.
But first, y'all, Andrei wants to remind us that Libby has a nice ass.
She's practicing her Romanian.
Y'all, they have freaky deaky sex. Just like...
Oh, God.
I mean... He's like spitting on her face, slapping her, licking her cheek, and she's going, "Yes, Daddy."
I would disagree that they get really that freaky deaky. I think he's not up for a lot of things. She pushes for it. And then he sees how much she likes certain things.
And then he gets into it.
Yeah. I think he's a lot less adventurous than she is.
I think he was at first, but now
it's open season.
Has Libby showed her butthole on OnlyFans or no?
I don't think so. I think it's just Becky and Jen. But so y'all, they're gonna go see their flip house. Remember that Chuck is going to go partners with Andrei, and guess what? Libby, as he says, as Andrei says, Chuck is providing capital. I'm going to do the work, and Libby's the designer because she's a woman, and I guess she can pick a color because I am an actual caveman. He
is an actual caveman.
Y'all, this is laughable. This is full on, and you could chalk this up to being Eastern European. This is laughable, and I think at this point he knows it needles her, because I think even Andrei's not a stupid person, y'all.
No,
he's not
a stubborn person.
Yeah. But I think by this point, he knows that it's just needling her. And I believe that's their relationship. A lot of their relationship is she doesn't really do it as much to him, but he says things to get a reaction out of her.
I'm calling it now. Y'all, there's going to be a flip show with Andrei and Libby, or even her entire family, like Family Chantel. I'm telling you now, Discovery Plus is planning where they're going to flip houses.
I think, didn't you say this last?
I've said it before.
Last Happily Ever After?
But this even solidifies it. I think we have some sources. I haven't told you this, but I got a little bit of information today. I think that there's going to be 16 episodes of this season. So they've got 3 episodes left. So I don't think we're going to see a remodel of this. I don't think we're going to see that completion.
And there'll probably be 3 tell-alls.
And I hope there's only 2. I really hope there's only 2.
Well, there's traditionally been 16 episodes of Happily Ever After. 15 or 16.
There should be 16, and then there's going to be 2 tell-alls. But I'm just saying that I'm telling you, there's part of me that feels it.
I think that's a great idea.
Honestly, let's be honest, y'all. If Libby and Andrei had a renovation show, we would all probably watch it.
We would watch it. And we'd watch them fight. We'd watch them fight. We'd watch
him hammer in a tank top or with his shirt off.
And we'd have Charlie come over and yell at them about something and fight and almost kiss.
And then Becky, and it's like we would watch it. And then y'all, because I like those type. We would see them.
You like design shows more than I
do. I do. And we would see them, do pretty houses in the end and flip it. I think it's going to happen.
So she says that she's excited. She's excited to design. She's excited to design because she's never done that before. She's just given her opinion, and now she's going to.
What she says, and usually my opinion gets shot down by my sisters. Usually they say no to me.
Y'all, that's a really good Libby. You kind of hold your tongue.
I really do channel her well.
Yeah.
If you're watching The Intimate Reporter, I get her mouth well. I don't know why. But
she does her mouth.
Yeah.
I always said her mouth is an upside down mouth. It's like a bird mouth where the upper lip is somehow superimposed on her lower lip. It's strange. That's it. It's a strange mouth.
Thanks for liking my ass, baby. Thanks for liking my ass.
So, she is a little skeptical of all the work that it's going to take. He's like, "It's fine, babe. We're going to put the work on the house."
Maybe that's it. Because, y'all, we've read this family, and I've always said this, but there's something in me, and I don't know what it is, because she's not necessarily a nice, but I do like Libby. I do like her. Like I would sit and have a drink with her. I like her.
Well, again, as Becky said, these are characters that we are playing.
But I feel sorry for Libby and Chuck. I do.
Well, Libby is we've said Libby is the best of them. Is best of those siblings, and even the best of Andrei.
And Libby, honestly, it's finally just getting the attention from her father that he gave the rest of his fucking family.
Because I think they've had, I want to say 3 happily ever after seasons. And we saw the last one. Mm-hmm. And maybe we saw the previous one too. I'm not sure. But this is definitely their third, I believe.
I'm looking forward to seeing their 90-day.
Yeah, that's next season because we're on season 4 right now, y'all. We just started classic season 4 on the class list level of Patreon. Nicole and Asin.
Oh God! As Poodle
and Fisa and George.
You can listen to that first episode, by the way. It's on the free feed. The first episode, and as Poodle said, Nicole's sitting at a table where everyone hates her. And it's her family.
They don't like her. Her family doesn't even like her.
They don't like her at all.
Her brother says the worst thing is she could come back in a body bag. Your young brother says that. Then her shadier sister's like, no, the worst thing is she doesn't come back at all. And like wild dogs eat her body.
Wild dogs, just hyenas. Chantel goes to the airport wearing a black corset and Pedro doesn't show up.
Ballet flats.
It's great. We're so excited for season 4.
Her mother wears a fashionable Coyote Ugly cowboy hat.
Exactly. It's all happening. But Chuck says, Chuck says, Andrei has been good about making an effort to get to know me. Do you think that, Poodle, or do you think Andrei's just kissing his ass? Do you think he wants to know Chuck, or do you think it's kissing his ass, or do you think both?
I think Andrei's using whatever he can to make his stature in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He only cares about Libby and his family and his daughter. This is a special type of tribalism. It exists in the South. It exists among people in your family. Fuck everybody else. Maybe you let your circle in. Maybe your neighbors you let in.
That's the game that Andrei doesn't play, and that's why they get upset. Because, for instance, Chuck says, "I'm totally cool with this deal. We're going to make a good amount of money." He says, "However, who's going to list it?" And Andrei says, "Well, I'm going to list it. I'm going to list the house."
And Chuck's like. Okay, but there's going to be some problems.
But usually Becky is the one who lists the house. And that's where Andrei is an idiot, because if he wants to be included in the tribe,
he'll never be able to do it.
And that's what I was going to bring up.
He'll never be able to let her list his
but
house.
Maybe that's what we're differing in opinions, but we come from real estate families. And it is, this aunt does this cousin does this. Everybody kind of has their roles. And if a family member comes in and tries to, I kind of agree. I do see, this was the first episode where I see where Becky and Jen are coming from, and that I think Andrei, if he was smart and knew how to play the game, wasn't so stubborn, I would let Becky list this house.
Well, the thing is, he needs to do it all himself. He's never going to be able to do that. But
the thing is, he should?
I have a little different opinion here.
No, I think he should. I think it would be you would get way more bees with honey, so to speak.
Because this is a separate thing that Chuck said, I've done this with all of my kids. This is actually a thing that's separate apart from their business. So he does not need to let Becky list
but
the
it
house.
Would make so much ease in his family to do that.
You're acting like Andrei knows how to play politics.
No, I'm not acting. I'm saying that's the problem with Andrei. He doesn't know. Y'all, this is someone who had to leave his country because he wouldn't do what the corrupt police wanted him to do. So clearly he does whatever the fuck he wants.
My question and if Andrei was smoother, and Chuck is probably going to say this, what does it bother you? And we're going to see that. They're basically saying later, you're taking money out of our pockets. And I'm thinking, do you know how ridiculous you sound right now? It is that whole prodigal son thing. This is they're basically saying, why didn't you do all this for this son? He went away and like gambled everything away, and like he got surgery. And like we wanted surgery, and you gave us that too, but like we don't like it that like Andrei, who no one likes anyway, is getting everything we got because he's married to our sister.
Well, it's not even y'all. This is not about Andrei.
No,
all. It's about their jealousy of Libby, who's always been the favorite sister,
and also Andrei's an outsider, and
but Libby
goes against.
She went to be an actor. She tried to be an actor. She was doing that. She was probably, the other sisters got into real estate young, and she's like, I'm not going to do this. I'm doing my own thing. Well, suddenly now she wants to do this. And y'all, we found out hot tea. Charlie has been dropping the ball and hasn't been flipping houses like he should on time.
And Chuck agrees.
And he's been losing money. Y'all, because he's doing coke and making OnlyFans.
Yeah. Now, I have to agree with Chuck.
I know that's not a fact. That's allegedly, but we will stand by this statement.
He has coke,
y'all,
like frat boy rape face.
We are standing by this statement that Charlie's wife has snorted coke off his dick and then they made out. And someone tipped them $27 for it.
I gotta agree with Chuck. He says, if this works, I'm gonna go to them and say they did it. What's the problem? They can do their own thing. I gave each of you something. And so I kind of don't believe that Andrei has to play by that rule.
No, I'm not saying he has to play by it. I'm saying
it would be
if he was smart and wanted to. I'm not saying the other houses, but this first house, I would have let her list this.
It would have been a little easier for the medicine to go down. Yes.
Yes.
So they are at the Bang and Bungees with Becky and Jen, because they're renting a bounce house for Ellie's two-year-old birthday party, and they make a good sense thing. Everyone's in COVID tested and blah blah blah.
Question. And this is for people watching the Intimate Portrait. Sorry, but if you are doing this podcast right now, and if you've had sex in a bounce house, raise your hand. I knew you had. I knew it. I knew you had.
I can't believe. How did you know? Did I tell you that story?
No, I just knew. I knew you had. I have not.
What's
sex in a bounce house like, Poodle?
It was at a private carnival. You know, you're kind of moving around. It wasn't, you know what? It was half deflated. So it was, oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this on the air. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I'm going to tell you, did I tell you this story?
No, I don't know anything. I just sensed
this was when I was with the guy who had a kid.
Oh, and really?
It was at her carnival now, granted, everyone had gone and he was helping out, and I just stopped by to like help him clean up. He was like the only one who was there. All the kids were gone.
So this was after the party?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I helped him like clean up because he was being a dad and doing all that. And there was a bounce house there that, of course, they were deflating. And yes, it was my idea to go in the bounce house and have sex.
Wow.
Can you was your mother a jackal? How do you know that happened to me?
You know, I just learned this.
You know when I can have sex.
I think I have the gift because y'all, I didn't know this, but Peggy and Aunt Darla have told me separately, you know, because they don't talk anymore. Grandma Hazel had the gift. She had intuition.
So your gift
always knew.
Knowing when I have sex at different times.
She always knew when people were up to no good. And I know when Poodle is up to no good.
I did though, but I would not have done it if there were children around. I would not.
Well, no.
But no, we were.
You're not a pervert. You're a whore. There's a difference.
I'm not a pervert. I'm a whore.
I'm a whore.
We were, and it was hot. I had some lube in my car. Oh, because you always have that for emergencies.
Y'all, P.S. Gay. Put lube in your car.
Put lube in your car. If you got an extra douche in there, do it as well.
Do it. Put a box of lube in your car. We're here for
Hopefully some condoms, too.
Poodle doesn't do that. He's on prep.
I still keep them, though. You never know.
Anyway, went off there. So y'all, so they're at this bounty house place, and they're like, they tell the older kid, "Can you watch the babies?" And so the three of them go talk, and Libby says the most laughable statement. Things have been awkward with my sisters, and I think we've been a little bit passive aggressive.
Lately?
And I'm like, that's what I went, lately? This is your life. Y'all are just passive aggressive and horrible to each other.
They hate one another.
They hate one another.
None of them have ever said how they really feel about the others ever.
No. And so she basically said, well, it's inevitable, but Daddy handed Andrei this property, and we're going to be flipping this property.
And then she said, and this was Prodigal Son, and she's like, Dad's just like handing him stuff. And that's when we get into the $3 of King Lear. It's like, they say, like, this is their jobs.
And Jen's
this
like,
is their livelihood.
I had to take what it learns to flip a property. I said, what did you learn to handle property? Let's see. Screw over your renters.
Right.
Not pay the rental insurance.
Because y'all supposedly they're slumlords.
And y'all, not supposedly. We have a sissy who literally was screwed over by them in Florida.
Yeah.
So, and not only that, and then she knows, she has the knowledge of how to get arrested and get your mugshot taken.
Did you get this when she said this? And this was the most saying the quiet part out loud. Dad's giving him money he could have given us. And I went, you just gave up the game.
You just gave up.
Holy shit.
Jen even says later at the birthday party, when it's about my money, I take it personally.
See, that's why I think Chuck is doing this to kind of teach them a lesson.
I think he is too. Y'all, this is that story of that king who realizes everyone in the kingdom hates him, and this is Game of Thrones.
I was going to say, what story is that?
But it's fucking Game of Thrones. Like Cersei's first husband, when he knows everyone's out to get him to get the game.
Game of double wides, because it's Florida.
And hopefully this ends better than Game of Thrones. Spoiler alert. It didn't end good. Mm-hmm. If someone said
didn't go good.
If someone says we're going to change and redo the ending of Game of Thrones, I would be here for it.
Me too. So we're at the birthday party, and Libby does say, my sisters see them as a threat. That's why.
She's like, oh, I just figured it out. They see my sisters as a threat. And I'm like, you just figured that you couldn't figure that out in a 4-hour RV ride?
So they're at the party. Thank God Charlie and Megan aren't able to be there.
Thank you.
There must be some swingers convention in town.
Yeah.
So Jen walks in and is like, oh, did Libby do this herself or did you help? Already they're like going for him. And he's like, don't engage. But that's not possible for Andrei, y'all.
No.
He's going to pop off.
Y'all, Andrei is never going to put in the tip. He's going to raw dog, full dick. That's the Moldova way. Full ball.
Raw dog.
Raw dog, yeah. Shaft deep.
So I wrote down, on this, the day of my 2-year-old daughter's birthday, how dare you come to talk about a listing? That's what this would be called. On this the day of my 2-year-old daughter's birthday.
2-year-old daughter's birthday.
You come to ask me a favor. It's my bad Godfather audition.
Never seen it.
How is that possible?
I would want to. I just never saw The Godfather. It's kind of long.
It's on like every other day on one of these shows.
Never seen it.
Come on.
Never.
This is one of the things that I'm talking about. I want to film me just showing you things that everyone who is in culture knows.
It's like Mystery Science Theater 3000, but gayer.
No, it would be things like me showing you that, me showing you, I don't know, me playing a Drake song like you're an Amish person or like we're opening a time capsule.
I would like that show. I would do that. We're like the Try Guys, but we
try things that everyone else has tried.
Yeah, exactly.
And I make you go, oh, it's like, you know what it is? It's like those kids who listen to songs for the first time. On TikTok.
Those guys. I love those guys.
That's who you would be, just listening to Drake's Hotline Bling for the first time.
Sure.
Maybe on the hotline.
When do you want to do that, Poodle? When you want to make time to do that?
When you give me an extra week. Okay. When the week has 53 weeks.
By the way, when's our new merch coming? When's our new merch?
When I get an extra hour.
Okay.
So Jen starts in and she's like, he's like, when do I cut the cake? I don't know if this is a Moldovan thing. Maybe he's just thinking we don't sing or whatever. I don't know.
You know, I'm gonna eat the rest of my peanuts, and I'm gonna sit back and let you talk about cake gate. Poodle in 3, 2, 1, go.
First of all, at a kid's party, it's good to have if you're gonna have the tiny cake, it is good to have all the cake already portioned out. The cake that she's going to blow is a smaller cake. You don't need to cut that one. You could be cutting the other smaller pieces of cake. It doesn't matter when you cut the cake. Let me say that again. It's fine. It actually takes a long, long time. Anyway, they're going to nitpick him on how he's cutting the cake. For all I can think of is that cake looks delicious and I want to eat every bit of it.
It looked real good.
Then I realized they're like, you have to sing first. No, we have to sing before you get the cake. So they're singing, and I realized Andrei cannot sing. He went, "Happy birthday to you."
Oh, yeah,
like scream singing.
He can fuck. Does he need to sing?
That's all that matters. No, I don't need to teach everyone,
y'all. This Poodle's not gonna. I'm gonna interrupt his rant and just say, one of my favorite things ever, and y'all send me your videos of this, I will watch it, is when little babies are sung to happy birthday and they either cry at it or they're completely enamored and like looking around like Ellie's. She's so cute.
She's really cute.
And then when she does blow out the candles, Libby's face of how excited she is that she blew out the candles and knew that was like, it was so beautiful and sweet. It was so moving to me.
And Andrei, they were very all excited about it.
I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. Poodle, cut to what are you thinking?
Cake. So they are passing the cake around and they're like, you got dad wrapped around your finger. They just start in. And this is at their children. Now, this is scripted.
Andrei even had a thing with Becky before. He said, like, please do not.
Please,
I don't. Because Jen already came in hot.
Yeah, and Chuck basically says,
I'm not going to come at you in your own house.
And Chuck is offended now that they're talking about that. And he says, I helped you. I'm helping them exactly the way I helped you guys. I'm helping them now. And it's the exact same.
And they keep saying no, the same. They keep saying no, that's not true, but they never offer. I want to know the difference of what is the difference of how he helped you?
Yeah, I just think
just as somebody has, again, we have families that work in the house flipping business. This is kind of how any cousins or anybody I know that gets into the business is one of my aunts or uncles says, let's go in on this house together, 50-50. I'll teach you how to do it, and then the next house is yours.
The thing about it is, the building block of all this is it's none of your fucking business. Let me repeat that. This deal that Chuck is dealing with, it's not taking any money out of your pocket. That is future money that you think should be given to you, that you're already counting. But that's not the case. That is imaginary money that
but
you
again,
think it needs to be yours.
They would be a little calmer if Andrei said, hey, I'm
that's
going
never
to
going to
flip this
happen.
house, but you're going to list it. I'm getting into the club so that way they all see. Because you know what? I feel like my family's the same way. If my dad was building a house and selling a house and he did not list it with one of his sisters, they would be pissed because that's the way to think. He builds it, they list it, everybody helps everyone make money.
I don't think this is part of the family business, though. I don't think this house flip is. Here's why. Here's why I say that. Let me say this. He gives them a property. This is charity he's done for all his kids.
It's not maybe on paper formally, but because they have just built this with him. I'm not saying they're right, but I'm saying I can't, even though they're really gross human beings, I can't say they don't have a leg to stand on. They do have at least a leg. Like there is some credence to, I think, what they're saying. And I'm not saying it's right, but that this is the way all of their family has played the game, and Andrei is not.
But that's not what they're saying. That's not what they're saying. They're saying you're taking money from us.
Because I'm saying that's why Andrei should list it with Becky, because then people would say you're not taking money from us.
But the thing is, they're not. That's separate from this.
That's not for them.
They could easily get another listing.
It's not for them because their dad, it might be different on paper, but the problem is they are involved in, at least the way it's presented, they are involved in everything Chuck does. So Chuck is doing something separately, and that feels like you normally would have bought this. If Andrei and Libby weren't here, you would have bought this house. Becky would have listed it. Jen would have flipped. Like we all would have made money for that. I think that's the way they're thinking. I'm not saying they're right. I'm just trying to understand their thinking.
I kind of, but I feel like
because he's new to this.
Chuck does other deals. That's
just not. I'm telling you, they're involved in all of his fucking deals. Yeah. You can't tell me that these cockroaches aren't up in everything he fucking does.
I get it, but it makes him feel like just being just bled dry by these people.
Yes.
So y'all, let me just say at the very end, who cares what happens to this? They start to throw cake, and there's cake all over Andrei, and I would lick it off his body gladly. Okay. And first of all, the fact that you wasted cake, it's upsetting. Do you know what? It honestly did not look very good. So
did it? It was good, Poodle. And did
I'm trying to make myself feel better.
Did the whiteness on his beard just remind you a little bit of semen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It combined all my fantasies into kind of one thing.
She's wiping off the cake from him, and I felt my dick move.
And then he screams, "Leave my birthday house!" Which I'm going to scream when
leave my birthday house.
Leave my birthday house.
Fuck off.
I enjoyed how they just scream fuck, fuck, fuck all the time with their children.
I will say, again, I agree with you. I felt sorry for Chuck a little bit. But again, I feel sorry for Libby because, y'all, we love Andrei because he would be a hot fuck.
I wouldn't want to be married to him.
He's not a scrupulous good person. Not at all.
No, it's all transactional. We've said this before. That's all I've got.
Yeah, I just hope Andrei doesn't cheat on her one day.
That's all I've got.
That's all I got.
Give me my signal to go to the next thing, and here we go. Give me 5 seconds.
Okay. Y'all,
do your hand. So
you know what's coming next. You know what's coming next. And now, the tears of Kalani. This episode is titled, Mother, May I Have You Shush?
The tears of Kalani.
It's true. This episode, by the way, do you know every time that you do this, I say what this episode's called?
No, I don't know.
That's a bit I do every time I say this, because that's what they used to do in soap operas. This episode. And this episode is called Mother, May I Have You Shush?
That's funny. May I have you shush?
Y'all, Kalani, this is really more than Asuelu. Okay, I don't know what is happening to me.
I know what you're going to say.
I feel like Matt Sharp has gotten in my brain. He did some voodoo on me, kind of like Julie and Brandon when she was trying to say, I'm hypnotizing you.
You're into him.
I'm into Asuelu. I love him. I think he's sweet, and I think he's attractive, and I kind of want to do things with his penis.
No, you're incorrect. Sorry. No, I'm still not into him.
But tell me you're not rooting for him.
I'm rooting for them. I still think they have a long way to go.
I tagged Kalani. I still need to know what red lipstick she wore last episode. Kalani liked it, but I kind of actually need to know what color it was.
Oh, the one that was what I call Rudolph the Red Lip Reindeer.
It was so pretty. It was so pretty.
So he is picking up his mom and Tammy and her kids because they're going over to Celebrity Deathmatch, the Christmas edition.
Yes. Remember that show?
Yes. And he's like, and Moneybag's like, son, hello. And he's like, my heart is freezing cold. I would like something warm like coffee.
Like, he's like, my heart is, and Tammy's over there. Mom, did you see that kiss? It wasn't really a good kiss at all.
What was that?
That Tammy was just like.
Tammy is Grinching it.
Shade. Y'all, if she was a Muppet on Sesame Street, she would be called Shade Monster.
Yeah, it's really bad. She's like, she's talking to him. She's like, you make a lot of money. When you going to give some
when
to
you
mom?
When you going to give mom some? And she's
70. She's old.
She says, I have my own family. She said, I work and I take care of my family. But at the same time, I take care of my mom and my family. So
she wants money to take care of her mom with. Yeah. These people are fucking shysters. That's just it. Moneybags, Tammy, they're all on the tape.
They are. I mean, we have talked about, there's definitely this thing in Samoan culture.
I get it, but it's like she's in the U.S. now. She's just going to get a big like money belt to take back with her.
I think it's more for Tammy. She's mad at Asuelu that she...
Exactly. It's the same Libby sister scenario.
Yeah, she's mad that she's giving her mother money and taking care of her.
Shit.
And Asuelu's probably not doing a damn thing for his mother.
I realized I've been talking about the prodigal son. Are you aware of the parable of the prodigal son?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just making, because I know you're Catholic, so I just didn't want to overstate. But they're the sister. Tammy is being the sister who says, "What about me? I was loyal to you.
Loyal, yes.
He went away.
Son. I did all that."
It's like, but my son is alive, and he was dead, and he's alive. Kill the fatted calf. Do all of it.
Bible stuff, y'all.
Anyway, so Tammy says he needs to help back home and make it fair. That's when I went, okay, I see what game you're playing,
what this
honey.
Is all about. Is it's not she's sacrificing and he's not. But y'all, Asuelu's never that type of personality where he's going to sacrifice and do that.
This is the thing, you guys. If you're dealing with a relationship and you're saying, I'm just going to shame my sibling into spending time with my mother or father or spending time with their niece or nephew, you're wasting your time. We can't make anyone do anything.
And it's also, too, it's just not, y'all, if you're dealing with your parents and, it's like with my brother here. Like, when I'm here in Oklahoma, I do a lot more with my dad than my brother. Do I feel resentment or anything? No, because I look at it as like, my brother has a lot of stuff going on in his own life right now. But also, too, he's lived here with my dad.
Right.
And done a lot for him when I've been gone in California for 18 years. So, but even
at the same time, that resentment isn't going to help.
But I told myself, and my brother and I both were like, we kind of had this conversation whenever this started with my dad, like, you're going to do the best that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do the best that I can do. And that's it. And we'll be honest with each other what we can do and what our boundaries are.
Right.
And not hold because it's Tammy's asking Asuelu. She's expecting to do something Asuelu to do that he was never even asked to do. He was originally just expected to do. And
to fulfill some universal sense of fairness to their own Samoan heritage.
And we don't know, does Tammy live in Seattle or does she live in the U.S.?
I think she lives in Seattle, yeah.
So, but if Tammy's able to help their mother, great.
Right.
That has nothing to do with Asuelu's
nothing to do with
Asuelu.
That's the thing, you guys. That's why there's a lovely thing called boundaries that you have to establish.
And if Tammy has watched this show, she should say, regarding past seasons, fuck, my brother's not able to take care of hardly anyone.
Oh, shit, he can barely change a diaper.
Yeah, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe he's doing the best he can. And y'all, and I actually agree with that. My friend Don McCoy, who's an influencer, says this a lot. And I agree with it. Most people, I think, are doing the best that they can. Most
people are.
And I think Asuelu has been. I think Tammy has been, but it has nothing to do with Asuelu. So, but boy, Asuelu just got hotter in this conversation because he stood his ground.
Well, it was interesting because he tells Tammy, he's like, they're worried about you coming there because that you said you were going to beat everybody up. And Tammy's going at it. And Moneybags is like, that was a long time ago, though.
That was a long time ago, son, y'all. Because she did say on the tell-all, "I'm gonna kick everyone's asses."
And then Moneybags like, focus on Christmas. Focus on the spiritual baby Jesus.
It is Christmas. Don't beat your family up.
And then he's basically saying, as long as you don't do this, Tammy. And Mom, we're going to have a good time and everyone's going to be in their best behavior. And she's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Yeah, he goes,
yes,
at her. And it is like he Caesar Milan'd her. And it was amazing.
It was amazing because Tammy's saying, if anyone gets on my nerves, and Asuelu's saying, no, that's not. And the mom, that's when she said, I don't want to hear this. And he said, no. And he's like, Mom, listen to me.
Yes.
And it was.
My dick moved. I will agree with you. My dick moved.
My dick moved, and I was like, whoa.
Raw dog me the American Samoan way.
And so when you do raw dog, you have to take two fingers.
Your hands.
Sometimes it's this.
Yeah.
It's like Trump fingers.
I do little like fingers. And so Mom says, they must respect and listen to me. I am the mother.
I am your mother. You will respect me.
Mom says, sometimes Tammy wants to fight him. I don't know.
When he said, you guys, he's like, he just basically reasoned with them. He's like, you guys tried to beat up my wife.
I want to just point that. He literally said the line, you tried to beat up my wife. Right. And the mom kind of goes,
Fair.
And
he says about Tammy, in Samoan, that she doesn't want to humble herself.
He says, I want you to be on good behavior. And she said, are you going to be on good behavior?
Yeah.
And he's like, I need you not to act like animals. And Tammy says, oh, you talk like the pastor.
Mm-hmm. I liked, I wrote down when we would be going to, functions or anything with my mother and father, and my mother would say, boys, who's going to be on our best behavior today? We're all going to be good, right? And if we do want to fight or yell at one another, we're going to do it in the car on the way home, because I'm not going to have people talking about how poorly behaved you are. Got it?
How many times did you and your brother break that contract in public?
We didn't, because my mother would stare at us from across the room if we started fighting or anything like that. She always wanted us to be the best behaved children at anything.
Did you ever lose it once?
We were pretty good. When we did, I remember my mother taking me outside and saying, do you know how this looks? Do you know how it looks for me to have to take my children outside to talk to them? Because it was very important how it looked.
Wow.
Yeah.
That explains poodle in a butt shell.
In a butt shell, yes. So
in a butt shell.
Basically, Tammy does say at the end, if they disrespect me, I'm going to be on my bad behavior.
And Asuelu says, I want us to feel the spirit of the holidays. Let's go now.
And if you are a big fan of 90s music, you'll know that Poodle B had a single called Bad Behavior.
She did.
I'm on bad behavior. Poodle B.
Poodle B. Y'all, that's this episode.
That whole 90s R&B rap persona came out of Too Hot to Handle.
It did come out Too Hot to Handle.
Oh, hell, let's knock the glucose monitor off. Sorry.
Oh, y'all, we are going to be talking about next episode, Jovi and Yara, which...
Jovi and Yara, like Gwen says.
God, Yara. I love Yara.
Yara.
We're going to be talking about Brandon and Julia, and then we're going to, I think, have enough time that we're going to process Mike and Natalie. Wow. Whoa. Whoa.
Woof.
Anyway, y'all. So, hey, we appreciate you so much. That's the show for today. You can go to realitygazepodcast.com to find out what else we're doing. You can also, that's where you can find the merch links. Remember, if you're not in the Facebook group, but you want to buy some merch, 100% of the proceeds of our merch forever goes to the charity that we are promoting each month. So this month, anytime you buy merch, it's going to go, any proceeds we would make go to the Fisher House.
Fisher House Foundation.
The Fisher House Foundation. So we just wanted to remind you of that. We also want to let you know you can come at us on Cameo. Pig, the Peloton.
Pig McCarthy has I have to do two tonight, actually. A Pig, Australia's most famous, out of shape Peloton instructor, Pig McCarthy. Not Pig McCarthy, not P-I-G. Pig, P-A-G McCarthy.
Someone must have posted something because I also got to Carl's Wives cameo that I'm going to be doing today. So that needed to be done by tomorrow.
I guess we're just doing character cameos
I guess
now.
we're just, if you want a Carl's wife, a saloon girl, you want...
Oh, I have to do one of those too.
You want me to do... I have a blonde wig. Somebody asked for a Darcy cameo from me.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't talk for 4 hours after it, but I did do a Darcy cameo, and it kind of ended messy. Like I dropped the phone and actually turned off the cameo, but I kind of kept it.
That's
accurate. If you want a Libby cameo, I will give you a cameo, Libby. I will do that. I can do that.
You know what? I will say that's one of your best impressions because I'm not gonna blow smoke up your ass. I tell you when it's good.
So y'all come at us with all of those. We're happy to do that for you. I just want to say again on a personal note that this show, doing it with Poodle and talking about these people, is literally the time we feel normal and all of this craziness.
Same
right
here.
Now.
Same.
We love you very much, and when you send us same. And when you send us messages and say that we help you or the Sissy Squad helps you, it really means a lot to us. So we greatly, greatly appreciate it.
When we're having one of those days where I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this today? And I get a message that says, thanks, because I couldn't get through. I was having a really hard day today, and I listened to you guys for a while and got me through. So that's lovely.
You are not alone, bitches. So we want you.
Not alone.
We probably shouldn't sing Michael Jackson.
No.
Can't really do that anymore. It triggers me. So anyway, y'all, we want to say that we love you. We're here for you. We're thinking of you. And if we always say keep going, Queen. And we remember, y'all, if you leave an Apple Podcast review, leave 5 stars. And if you don't know what to write, you just have to say.
Keep on, Queens. Keep on,
We appreciate you so much. We appreciate your support and everything. We love y'all. And Poodle, we call these people lonely hearts because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love?
Yes. And if your boobs are the size of coconuts, pomegranates, tangelos, orangelos, kumquats, possibly kiwis,
the fruity loopies in a bowl,
cherries, other assorted. Let's say, what are those things? Star fruits.
Star fruits.
Come at